All right, it's March 25th, 2021, and I've decided to quit my job and buy a boat and go sailing around the world. I'm hoping to get out of here in a couple months, and this is kind of the beginning of that journey. I was able to save some money and obtain some financing from the bank, and I'm basically going to take a big old loan out and borrow all the money to buy a sailboat, probably down in the US, maybe down in the Caribbean, I don't know yet. And I'm gonna set out, and I hope to go sailing for, I don't even know how long, a few years. Maybe I'll do it for 6 months and find out it's not for me, or maybe I'll keep going and do it for a decade. I'm 36 years old, I'm a mechanical engineering technologist. This whole thing is pretty terrifying, actually. You would think that being on the cusp of being able to quit your job and go do something like this would be really exciting, but I would say right now I feel more terrified than anything else. I know it's going to be okay. I'm not terrified of anything in particular, it's just the whole pulling up my roots here in Toronto. I've lived here for 10 years now. And it's just very hard to quit a job that's a good paying job and do something that it seems like no one else around you is doing. Well, no one around me is doing this, but lots of people do this, but it feels a little uncomfortable. Regardless, this is video number 1, and this is the beginning. There's enough to do to just get out of here and go, without taking on the workload of trying to anticipate everything and plan everything perfectly. So just go is going to be the idea, and that's what I plan to do. I'm hoping to be done my job at the end of next month, April. I haven't given notice yet. That's terrifying. Leaving this apartment is going to be hard to do, because I've been in this building for the past 10 years, and I've been in this apartment for the past 3 years or so, and there's just a lot of history, a lot of memories here, and yeah, I'm really surprised at how kind of overwhelmingly difficult, in a way, mentally and emotionally, it seems to just quit everything and leave. I think it's something that a lot of us fantasize about in our daily lives when we go to our 9-to-5 job or whatever, whatever our obligations are. And we dream of getting away, but now that I'm on the cusp of it, it's actually quite terrifying. I was debating whether or not to sublet the apartment, because I really love this apartment. It's got 2 balconies, it's on the 13th floor in Toronto, facing south and west. Amazing. But I think it's just going to be too much for me to manage trying to sublet it. It would be illegal to sublet the apartment as well, and if I'm going to be halfway around the world, trying to manage an illegal sublet remotely is not going to be my idea of fun, and I think it's going to go against the idea of what I'm trying to do here, which is to pull up my roots and disconnect from corporate 9-to-5 society, and see what I can learn about myself and what I can learn about the world. The big things right now: selling my boat, which looks like it's not going to be very hard. Renting this apartment out, which, since I'm probably not going to sublet it, that's not going to be hard at all. I just give my notice, but I have to give it next week. And I've been dreading it a little bit this whole month. It's a real nail in the coffin. It really kind of, once I put in my notice and once I sell my boat here and once I quit my job, it's not that there's no going back, but it's a lot harder. Whereas right now, it's still just a pipe dream, and I could quit this at any time with no impact to my life right now as we know it. And the, of course, biggest thing is buying the boat. So I've been looking at boats, I've been calling yacht brokers, I've been talking to a couple who've been very generous with their time. But the big thing is I've never been on a much bigger sailboat before. My boat is 27 feet, and the target length of boat that I'm going for is around 50 feet. So I've never even been on a 50-footer. from the classified ads on, yachtworld.com and Kijiji and, a few other classifieds, there are basically no 50 footers for sale in Canada. So I'm gonna have to fly somewhere to buy the boat, and I don't know where that's gonna be. So I think I'm gonna be zeroing in on the boat meccas of North America. The east coast of the United States is really good. Annapolis, New England. Florida is good, but I've heard that if you go a little bit further north, boats tend to be in a little bit better condition. And of course there's the Caribbean, and then there's Panama and things like that. But now you're starting to have to fly a little bit further to go see the boat. So what I'm hoping to do is to take maybe a week off work, vacation, before I quit. Fly down, look at all the boats I can look at. Hopefully only have to go to one location and find the one and get the financing, kind of all the paperwork dealt with, and then fly back, get my life in order, tie up all my loose ends, and sell everything I can sell, and store everything I want to store, and give away everything that's left over, and then go. It's March. If I find the boat, in April, if I give notice this month, that means I'm out by the end of May. So conceivably I would be flying down to the boat in June, probably doing some refit work on the boat for, let's say, a month. I don't know how long it'll take, but I don't want to be kind of one of those people that buys the boat and then takes a year to fix it up and get it ready. Again, going back to the whole just go theme or idea here, I just want to refit it and go as quickly as possible. So I don't care about hiring people. I'm obviously handy with an engineering background, and I'll happily do as much work as I can when I'm there, but at the same time, I'm not going to be trying to teach myself too much too quickly to try and do DIY the whole way. My time is valuable in this, and one of the big things with cruising is a lot of people plan to go on these trips for years and years and years, and then they have health problems, or something unexpected comes up, or they end up starting a family and they never go. So I'm really trying to be mindful of that and really just try to go as soon as I can. If I set sail by July in the east coast of North America somewhere, my plan is to head south down to South America. I still have to do research on the routes that are available and whatnot, but I think that's what I want to do. But then, I'm already kind of thinking hurricane season begins in August. So if I'm setting out in July, I'm going to be a month into my trip and hurricane season is going to begin. So what does that mean for me being in the Caribbean? I don't really know. Am I going to have my boat hauled back out and, hunker down for a couple months while hurricanes pass overhead, potentially wrecking my newly purchased boat? I hope not, but more research is going to be required on that. So hurricane season in the fall is a consideration. One thing I forgot to add is to talk a little bit about the type of boat that I think I'm going to get. So I've spent a lot of time on the forums asking people, watching YouTube videos, trying to understand what is the difference between the different type of boats available, what is a blue water cruiser, what is a production boat. The debate rages on, and it's very hard with these forums to get good information from people. There's a lot of squabbling and bickering. It looks like the difference is that blue water cruiser boats are built much tougher. They're built with more accesses to the areas that need to be serviced, and they're built to last longer. They're also much more expensive. And regardless of the cost, there's something about blue water cruisers that really doesn't work with what my plan is, and that is that they tend to have fewer cabins that are much larger. You tend to have one cabin at the front and one cabin at the back, maybe two at the back. So you either have 2 or 3 cabins. I, on this trip, want to make a central theme about the trip that my friends and family and, maybe people we meet along the way can come aboard and sort of experience sailing for whatever amount of time works for them and be my crew. So a production boat is much more suitable for doing something like that just because of the number of cabins, the number of beds, the number of people that you can sleep aboard the boat. So I'm probably going to be looking at a, standard production boat, maybe a Jeanneau or a Beneteau. And I know a lot of people have, strong feelings about those boats being great, and some think they're terrible, and there's a whole wide range of opinion. One thing that I was told is that if you get a Jeanneau or a Beneteau before the year 2005, they tend to be built a little bit better. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, that's what I'm going to be going for. So I'm going to be going for, probably a 1990 to 2005 50-foot Jeanneau or Beneteau with 4 cabins, maybe if I'm lucky, a 5th cabin with bunks for singles. So 2 at the front and 2 at the back. And yeah, that's what I'm going for. I've got a budget of around 150,000 US for the boat and another 20,000 US for refit. I don't want to use all that money if I don't have to, but that's kind of maximum. Buying a sailboat generally tends to be a buyer's market to begin with, and I think with COVID, it potentially is even more of a buyer's market. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like it is, and we'll see. So that's kind of what my plan is. And I just put my 27-foot boat for sale, and I think the next thing is to buy a boat. Okay, so I'm on the way to sell my boat, and I had it posted up for $7,900, and I got about 20 inquiries so far in the past 24 hours. So I ended up actually raising the price to $9,500, and everyone has told me no problem. So there is so much demand out there for this size of boat in this area. So I'm on my way now to meet everyone. Yeah, I've got about 5 or 6 people coming to meet me now to see the boat, so hopefully I can sell it without a survey needing to be done. Once that's done, it's time to buy the next boat. And I've been looking online at boats for sale, and I'm thinking I'm going to be flying down somewhere, maybe even as soon as next week, just to go and try and get this taken care of. I know what I want. I want a 4-cabin charter model. Oh lordy, I'm tired. And that's it. Enterprise is sold conditionally. That went really well. That's pretty good. Selling a sailboat within 2 days of posting it. Can't complain. So now I need to find the next boat. And for that, I'm gonna have to fly somewhere. I gotta look into the whole COVID requirements. I think there's either a fine if you travel now, or there's a mandatory quarantine. And where's my mask? Oh, I lost my mask. Anyways, that's that. On to the next phase. Tuesday, March 30th, 2021, and I'm gonna pull the trigger. I'm going to give my notice and my 60 days notice to the apartment, and I'm going to clear out of this beautiful apartment. I love it so much. But the time has come to say goodbye. So I still haven't heard back from my yacht broker dude. He's going to be in St. Martin this weekend, and he's going to look at some boats there for me. I think I'm going to be flying down to St. Martin, but I don't know how soon. I might even go this weekend. It's all very crazy. With COVID regulations, I have to get a test before I go. I have to get a test there before I come back, I think. I don't know, it's confusing, but I'll keep you posted. I'm about to pull that trigger. All right, this is it. There's my notice. Here you go, Kenwar. Okay, it's done. 60 days notice, done. I'm out of here at the end of May. My birthday is towards the end of May. It'll be an amazing birthday gift for myself to quit my job and to leave and start this new chapter of my life. So here we frickin' go. And next, I gotta quit my job. And I think I'm gonna do that right now. So it's been a couple of minutes since I put in my apartment notice, my 60 days notice, and I still feel good about it. I have a meeting at 4 o'clock with my boss where I'm gonna quit. Hey, Charlie, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. Good, thanks.
Good. Thanks for taking the time to speak with me today. Thank you very much. Yeah, very excited. Okay, we'll talk to you soon, okay? That's it. It's done. I resigned from my job. So I'm just typing up my letter of resignation right now. My boss was okay with it. He was very happy for me and congratulated me, further confirming that he is a great boss. And he agreed to write me a letter of recommendation. Okay, so today's April 6th, and it is the Tuesday after the Easter long weekend, year 2021. Anyways, I heard back from my yacht broker finally, and I was wondering why I didn't hear back from him all weekend, and he emailed me 3 days ago, and it went into my junk folder. So luckily he followed up today and asked me, what's going on, and I was kind of like, he asked me, are you ready to put in an offer on one of the boats? And I said, I haven't even heard back from you yet. Like, what are the good ones? What are the bad ones? And so we dug into that. And one of the boats that I had him go to look at actually sold already. So that's kind of got me a little bit scared. That shows that there's, there's buyer activity out there. Other people are buying boats, and, it kind of makes me feel like, I got to move kind of quickly. And I do want to move quickly. So anyways, the other boat is looking really, really good. And it's got a lot of upgrades and a lot of pride of ownership. So I'm going to put in an offer today. And I guess the way it works is you put in an offer ahead of time from flying down. You make your inspection and the yacht survey conditions in the offer. And that way you get your foot in the door with the offer so that no one else can kind of take the boat from you before you get to see it. So if I flew down there first, someone else could put in an offer like what I'm discussing, and then I would not be able to get the boat if they went ahead with the offer. So putting in an offer on a boat today, $137,000. I'm going to offer 10% less, so that'll be like 120, 128-ish. And they'll probably want to meet me halfway. And if they accept it, then I'm going to book my flight ASAP, book my COVID test ASAP, and probably fly down this coming weekend. So here we go. I'll keep you posted on the updates as they come in. Okay, so the other day I put in an offer on that boat, and they came back. I offered 10% less than they're asking. They came back meeting me halfway, which was exactly what was expected. They were asking 137.5. I offered 123 or whatever, 10% less than 137.5 is, and they came back at 130 and change. So I just talked to my yacht broker, and we're going to go ahead with it. So we're going to sign it back, and there's really very, very low likelihood that the deal won't go through at this point because it's conditional upon a survey. The boat looks to be in great condition. The survey is very unlikely to find something huge and catastrophic. If something small is found, then we'll just negotiate on the price based on that, and it's going to be conditional upon my own inspection. So I'm going to try and do both those things next weekend. So today is Thursday. I forget the date, but it's Thursday, April, I think 8th. And so it's a little bit short notice to get a COVID test and book a flight and make good use of my time and to get a surveyor lined up. So it's looking like next weekend. I'm going to fly down probably on the Friday, try and get on the boat with a surveyor, have him do his thing while I'm there. He can tell me all the things he's finding while he's finding them. They'll still go into an official survey document, which I need to have for insurance purposes and whatnot, but it'll be really good to be there with him myself to really pick his brain on anything that I don't totally understand, rather than just reading the report afterwards. So it looks like this is really happening now. Quitting my job was great, and giving my notice at the apartment was great, and I just sold my sailboat here in Toronto the other weekend, and that's all good, but it's all just kind of prep work for buying the boat and getting to the boat. So now it's not a done deal, but I see no reason why the deal isn't going to go ahead at this point. So its current name is Blue Turquoise. It's definitely not going to be the name that I keep for it. Still working on that name, that naming process. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. Crazy.
Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and the notification button so you're always up to date on when new episodes drop. Stay tuned for episode number 2, where I get into some trouble at the airport.